From the streets of Long Beach to becoming one of the most recognizable figures on Earth, the story of Snoop Dogg is nothing short of legendary. Born Calvin Cortazar Broadus Jr. in 1971, his childhood was shaped by poverty, gang violence, and the harsh realities of the West Coast in the late 70s and 80s. He got his nickname, Snoop, from his mother, who thought he looked like Snoopy from the Peanuts cartoons. But behind the playful name was a young man caught between two worlds: the dangers of the streets and the salvation of music. As a teenager, Snoop was already in trouble. He joined local gangs, was arrested for drug possession, and spent time in jail. But when he wasn't hustling, he was rapping at house parties and recording tracks with his friend Warren G. It was Warren who passed a tape to Dr. Dre in the early 1990s, and that single move changed Snoop's life forever. Dre was blown away by Snoop's smooth, effortless delivery, a voice unlike anything else in hip-hop. He invited him to audition, and the rest was history. In 1992, Snoop debuted on Dr. Dre's The Chronic, which is still considered one of the greatest rap albums of all time. Snoop's verses on tracks like Nothing But A.G. Tang made him an instant star. The next year, he dropped his own album Doggy Style, produced entirely by Dre, which sold over 800,000 copies in its first week, a record at the time. With hits like Gin and Juice and Who Am I? What's My Name? Snoop Dogg became the face of West Coast rap. But success came with scandal. At the height of his fame, Snoop was charged with murder after a deadly shooting involving his bodyguard. The trial dragged on for years, putting his career on hold. Every headline painted him as the symbol of gangsta rap gone too far. For many, it seemed like his story would end in prison. But in 1996, Snoop was acquitted of all charges. The verdict saved his career and allowed him to shift his focus away from the streets and deeper into music. Even free from courtrooms, Snoop remained a lightning rod for controversy. His constant use of marijuana became part of his brand, but also got him banned from entering countries like the UK, Norway, and Australia. He was arrested multiple times on drug and gun charges. And yet, rather than destroying his reputation, these incidents only seemed to strengthen his legend. Snoop Dogg was untouchable, the cool, unbothered rapper who turned controversy into charisma. Through the 2000s, he kept reinventing himself. He worked with Pharrell on Drop It Like It's Hot, which became one of his biggest hits. He shocked fans by temporarily changing his name to Snoop Lion after embracing Rastafarianism during a trip to Jamaica, releasing a reggae-inspired album in 2013. Some laughed at the change, but it showed that Snoop wasn't afraid to experiment, even when the industry doubted him. Beyond music, he became a businessman and cultural personality. He launched cannabis brands, starred in reality shows, and even co-hosted a cooking show with Martha Stewart, an unlikely but wildly popular duo that showcased Snoop's humor and versatility. He wasn't just a rapper anymore. He was an entertainer, entrepreneur, and internet icon. Still, his life wasn't without dark moments. In 2007, he was banned from the UK after a violent brawl at Heathrow Airport. In the late 2000s and early 2010s, he faced lawsuits and accusations tied to performances and business deals. But unlike many of his peers, Snoop navigated scandals with honesty, laughter, and a refusal to take himself too seriously. He managed to keep his fanbase loyal, while also attracting entirely new generations. By the 2010s and 2020s, Snoop had cemented himself as more than a rapper. He was a cultural phenomenon. He appeared in films, lent his voice to cartoons, narrated documentaries, and even became a meme machine on social media. Then, in 2022, he hit one of the biggest stages of all, performing at the Super Bowl halftime show alongside Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, and Kendrick Lamar. For millions watching, it was proof that Snoop Dogg had officially become a global legend, respected across decades. What makes Snoop's story so remarkable isn't just the music or the fame, it's his survival. He came from one of the toughest neighborhoods in America, faced a murder trial, endured arrests and bans, and still managed to stay relevant for over 30 years. He turned marijuana, once a taboo topic, into a central part of his personal brand and business empire. He's one of the rare artists who can stand next to gangsta rappers, pop stars, comedians, athletes, and TV hosts, and fit perfectly in every setting. Snoop Dogg's life is proof of transformation and authenticity. He never pretended to be someone else, even when the industry changed. He stayed true to his laid-back persona, his love for music, and his California roots. Today, he's not just the Dogfather of rap. He's an ambassador of hip-hop culture, a bridge between generations, and a symbol of reinvention. So, the question is, how did Calvin Broadus Jr., once a teenager in and out of jail, become Snoop Dogg, the most recognizable rapper alive? His journey is messy, controversial, and full of wild chapters, but it's also inspiring. Because no matter how many times life tried to drag him down, Snoop always came back stronger, cooler, and more legendary than before. But Snoop Dogg's journey isn't just about survival, it's about evolution. Few artists in hip-hop history have managed to stay relevant across so many eras. From the rise of gangsta rap in the 90s, to the club anthems of the 2000s, to the viral internet age of today, Snoop has always found a way to adapt. He never forced himself to follow trends. Instead, he let the culture come to him. Whether it was a meme, a collaboration with a young rapper, or a business move, Snoop remained one step ahead by simply being himself. And that's the secret. Snoop Dogg didn't just become a rapper, he became a brand. His voice alone is instantly recognizable, his slang reshaped pop culture, and his persona turned into a global symbol of cool. He went from facing a possible life sentence to becoming the kind of figure who can sit at a talk show next to Martha Stewart and make the world laugh. Today, Snoop stands as proof that controversy doesn't have to end a career. Sometimes, it becomes part of the legend. He's not perfect, and he never pretended to be. But in a world where many stars burn out fast, Snoop Dogg continues to shine. From Long Beach streets to the Super Bowl stage, his story shows that reinvention, survival, and authenticity can make you timeless. So what do you think? Is Snoop Dogg the ultimate survivor of hip-hop? Or is he something bigger, a cultural icon who turned his struggles into power? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories of the world's most fascinating stars.